I can't think of anything too ridiculous. Some of the stuff was pretty funny and bizarre that we filmed, and I don't know if it made the final cut. I'm hoping it didn't, because it was pretty bizarre.
Mel Gibson has done it again. He just left everyone speechless with what can be called his biggest revelation on tech billionaire Elon Musk.
I think incorrectly ascribed to be a white supremacist action. And the evidence for that was some obscure Russian website that no one's ever heard of that had no followers.
When you hear the name Mel Gibson, you immediately think about Hollywood. And while the same cannot be said about Musk because he operates in a different industry entirely, it seems their paths have finally crossed. The question is, what has Elon Musk done to get such a reaction from the no-nonsense Gibson? And what exactly did Gibson say? Was it praise, a warning, or something much deeper? Keep watching, because you're about to find out. Mel Gibson is no stranger to controversy. One thing about Gibson? He's always going to speak his mind and call out who or what needs to be called out. He is known for his brutally honest takes, and as a Hollywood icon known for his iconic acting and directing roles in epic films like Braveheart and The Passion of the Christ, Gibson is always eager to call out wrongs in not just Hollywood, but the general society at large. So this time, when he decided to talk about Elon Musk, people listened. Just in case you missed the news, in January 2025, President Donald Trump appointed Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone, and Jon Voight as special advisors and ambassadors to Hollywood. Now, Trump specified that the role of these ambassadors is to join hands to revitalize the American film industry and make it great again. Unfortunately, over the years, Hollywood has faced deeply concerning challenges such as declining production rates and competition from international markets. And as the newly elected president, Trump's goal is to restore Hollywood to its golden age. Of course, who else to help him execute his plan than these experienced actors who would serve as his eyes and ears within the industry? At first, Mel Gibson was super surprised at the appointment. But as someone who loves a challenge, he took it up immediately. In an interview, he said, "I got the tweet at the same time as all of you and was just as surprised. Nevertheless, I heed the call. My duty as a citizen is to give any help and insight I can. Any chance the position comes with an ambassador's residence?" Now you're probably wondering what all this has to do with Elon Musk. So let's break it down. You see, back in November 2024, President-elect Donald Trump announced the creation of the Department of Government Efficiency, and he surprisingly appointed Elon Musk to lead it and act as his special advisor. This new department was created to help reduce government waste, cut unnecessary regulations, and even restructure federal agencies to save money. However, despite its name, it is not an official government department, and it only operates as a temporary organization under the United States Digital Service. But of all people, why Elon Musk? The truth is, Elon Musk is one of the most fascinating figures of our time. He's the mind behind Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. Some see him as a visionary who could push humanity toward a future of space colonization and artificial intelligence, while others view him as an unpredictable man who takes risks that could either save or doom society. But what does Mel Gibson think about the billionaire? Well, you'll be shocked to find out that Gibson knows so much about Musk and has a lot to say about him. What are his thoughts? Let's find out. Elon Musk's impact in Hollywood. Elon Musk might be a billionaire businessman first, but what many people don't realize is that he has also made an impact in Hollywood. Musk has built some really interesting connections in the entertainment industry, and at this point, his influence in Hollywood is so clear. And perhaps that's where Mel Gibson got to see a more personal side to Musk that the media doesn't get to see frequently. Just in case you didn't know, Elon Musk has appeared in several popular movies and television shows. The interesting part of this is the fact that most times he ends up playing himself. One of his most impressive and popular cameos was in Iron Man 2 back in 2010. In a quick scene, Musk meets Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., in a fancy restaurant. They chat for a moment, and Musk even mentions an idea for an electric jet. Something we can all agree sounds very much like him in real life. Musk made another big appearance in 2015 on The Big Bang Theory. In the episode, Musk is seen working at a soup kitchen, where he meets Howard Wolowitz and jokes about washing dishes to pay off his past mistakes. This scene was a banger, especially among fans who couldn't help but be impressed with his self-deprecating humor. That's not all. Musk has also lent his voice to animated shows. In Rick and Morty, he played a character called Elon Tusk, a funny alternate version of himself that had, yes, you guessed correctly, tusks. He also made another appearance in Young Sheldon, where he played a small role that tied into his real-life interest in space and science. In 2021, Musk took things even further by hosting Saturday Night Live, one of the most popular late-night shows in America. This was a super rare and impressive move for a tech entrepreneur like him, and his performance got so many mixed reactions. Some people enjoyed seeing his quirky personality, while others felt he was a bit awkward. Either way, it was just another opportunity for Musk to prove that he had some level of interest in the entertainment world, especially Hollywood. Believe it or not, Musk's influence in Hollywood goes beyond just being in front of the camera and making appearances. It's actually much bigger and far more complicated than you think, and Mel Gibson has a lot to say about it. You see, Iron Man screenwriter Mark Fergus once told New York Magazine that Musk partly inspired the screen iteration of Tony Stark due to his technological prowess, cockiness, and overall hot-headedness. Musk's intelligence, confidence, and futuristic mindset helped shape how Stark was portrayed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so, when Robert Downey Jr. was preparing to play Tony Stark in Iron Man, he had to spend some time with Musk to study his personality and get an understanding of what truly goes on in his mind, just so he could play the role better. In fact, some fans even argue that Tony Stark's character was loosely based on Musk in the later Iron Man movies. The high-tech gadgets, the private jets, and the larger-than-life personality all seem very familiar. Even Stark's company, Stark Industries, shares some similarities with Musk's SpaceX and Tesla. You see it, don't you? Musk is definitely someone who has a lot of influence in Hollywood, and it's so clear that his ideas and inventions have also influenced Hollywood in a much bigger way. Many science fiction movies and television shows take inspiration from real-world technology, and Musk's work is at the cutting edge of that. You can agree that concepts like space travel, artificial intelligence, and electric vehicles, all things that Musk is deeply involved in, are major themes in blockbuster films. For example, the rise of his company SpaceX and his constant obsession with space travel have changed how people think about space exploration. This has influenced movies like Interstellar, The Martian, and Ad Astra, which focus on private companies exploring space rather than just the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the United States government agency that manages space exploration. Even in some video games and futuristic television shows, you must have come across some ideas that seem to mirror what Musk is working on in real life. And believe us when we tell you it's definitely no coincidence. Aside from his direct appearances in movies and television shows, Musk has also built friendships and business relationships with some of Hollywood's biggest names. He has attended major Hollywood red carpet events, dated celebrities like actress Amber Heard, and even had famous directors and actors visit his SpaceX facilities. However, One move that had one of the biggest impacts on Hollywood was Musk's decision to purchase the social media platform Twitter, which he renamed X. Many celebrities and studios now use this platform to promote their movies, television shows, and even music. And this brings us to how Elon Musk's actions and influence in Hollywood have directly affected Mel Gibson and even left him stunned. It all happened when Gibson once again spoke up about something extremely sensitive in Hollywood. And to everyone's surprise, especially Gibson's, Elon Musk also had something to say about it too. Let's break it down. The Sound of Freedom controversy. You see, every now and then a movie comes along that surprises everyone. Sound of Freedom is one of those films. It wasn't made by a big Hollywood studio, as you would expect. And this only meant that it didn't have the usual blockbuster marketing that makes a movie go viral in Hollywood. However, despite that, it became one of the most talked about movies of the year, not just because of the plot or the message it passed, but because of the controversy that followed its release. Sound of Freedom is a powerful film based on true events that tells the story of a former United States government agent, Tim Ballard, who takes on a very dangerous mission to help vulnerable children in dangerous situations. The lead role was played by Jim Caviezel, best known for his performance as Jesus in The Passion of the Christ, a movie Mel Gibson also directed and co-produced. Sound of Freedom was produced by Angel Studios, an independent company that has built a reputation for making movies with deep meaning and strong values. And what made the movie stand out was not just the storyline, but the strong message attached to it. But there was a problem, one that Mel Gibson refused to keep quiet about. You see, when the movie initially came out, unfortunately, it didn't receive as much support as expected for a movie with such an intriguing plot and deep message. Right from the beginning, before it was even released, the movie was faced with so many challenges. For one, it wasn't backed by a major Hollywood studio, which meant it didn't have a huge marketing budget. Also, most people in the industry doubted whether it would succeed. And here's why. Usually, when a movie is based on a true story and covers important social issues, big studios rush to support it. But that didn't happen with Sound of Freedom. The film was actually completed in 2018, yet it took years before it was finally released, and this delay was no coincidence. Originally, 20th Century Fox owned the distribution rights, but after Disney acquired Fox in 2019, the film was shelved. It seemed like Hollywood wasn't interested in promoting the story, and for years it remained in limbo, with no major studio willing to release it. Eventually, Angel Studios, an independent film company, took over distribution and brought the movie to theaters in 2023. It's so sad to imagine that if they hadn't stepped in, Sound of Freedom might never have been released to the public. This led to so many speculations, with so many people wondering why Hollywood was so reluctant to support the film. Was it just because they didn't believe in the film, or were they trying to hide something much darker and disturbing? Well, most people, including Gibson, eventually pointed to the fact that a possible reason for Sound of Freedom being treated the way it was is the fact that it exposed so many uncomfortable truths about the entertainment industry and Hollywood in particular. You see, the movie deals with real-life issues that have been discussed in Hollywood before, but never in the manner and depth that the movie did. Some people believed that some big names and powerful figures in the industry didn't want the film to get attention because it could raise questions about Hollywood itself, because over the years, there have been various reports and accusations involving high-profile people in the entertainment world, and Sound of Freedom was only going to stir up fresh conversations about these topics. While this may seem like a conspiracy theory, most supporters of the film explained that Hollywood's silence was proof that it wasn't some conspiracy theory. Some deep and dark things were truly going on in Hollywood that they did not want us to know. The silence about the movie wasn't just about business. It was about avoiding a discussion that some didn't want to have. But of course, Mel Gibson is not one to shy away from sensitive and controversial discussions like this. As you can already imagine, when Sound of Freedom was released, Gibson quickly showed his support for the movie and the message it wanted to convey. He was so impressed by the film that he publicly encouraged people to go watch it, and he even recorded a message urging audiences to support the movie. In fact, Jim Caviezel, the main character in the movie, said, "I showed this movie to 2 Academy Award-winning film directors, both of whom are brutally honest critics. Both of them were absolutely stunned. One of them is my good friend, Mel Gibson. The other one likes to remain anonymous." Mel was weeping. Not only did Gibson help spread the word, but he also reportedly helped in other ways behind the scenes, and his support gave the film even more credibility and made more people curious about it. A filmmaker of his status backing an independent film like this was definitely a bold statement and a big deal. Now, after its success in theaters, most people expected Sound of Freedom to be available on major streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, or Disney+. But to everyone's surprise, that didn't happen right away. Unlike most blockbuster films that get quick streaming deals, Sound of Freedom was initially ignored by major platforms, and most people couldn't help but point out once more that this was another way Hollywood tried to limit its reach. Instead, the film's distributors had to find other ways to get it to audiences, and one of the biggest moves came when Elon Musk somehow found a way for it to be streamed for free, giving millions of people access to the film and bypassing traditional Hollywood gatekeepers. Elon is definitely someone who is extremely vocal about social issues. And so while the movie was gaining momentum, Musk took to his platform, X, to talk about it. He praised the film's message and even offered to help it reach more people. One of his biggest contributions that left everyone, including Mel Gibson, super stunned and impressed, was allowing Angel Studios to stream Sound of Freedom for free on X. In a social media post, he said, "I recommend putting it on this platform for free, for a brief period, or just asking people to subscribe to support. We would not keep any funds." To which Angel Studios responded by saying, "That's an interesting idea. Let's chat." This decision by Musk was a complete game-changer because it meant that millions of people who might not have been able to watch the film in theaters could now see it at no cost. And Musk's involvement and support helped boost its popularity even further, bringing more attention to the real-life issues the film highlighted. As you already know, Mel Gibson is no stranger to taking risks in Hollywood, and he definitely knows how difficult it can be to get a meaningful movie released when it doesn't fit the typical Hollywood mold. He also knows how easy it is for celebrities to stay away from controversial and sensitive topics like the one the movie highlighted, and that's why Musk's move deeply impressed him. For someone like Gibson, who has had his own battles with Hollywood, this was a rare moment of a major public figure using their power to stand behind a meaningful film instead of staying silent or taking the easy path. Musk made a bold statement. He believed the movie deserved to be seen, and he was willing to make that happen, no matter what Hollywood thought. And that was super impressive. Apparently, Gibson saw Musk's action as a major win for independent filmmakers, and it just proves that, in today's world, movies don't need traditional Hollywood studios to succeed, because, with the right support, powerful stories can still reach the masses. Apart from Gibson, Musk's move also drew massive praise from fans of the film. Many people thanked Musk for giving them the chance to watch Sound of Freedom, especially those who couldn't see it in theaters. Even those who weren't familiar with the movie took notice, and it eventually sparked discussions about why Hollywood had been so hesitant to support the movie in the first place. A fan on Twitter said, "When I plug my zip code in, there are no options to view this movie within at least 100 miles. Putting it on a platform like Twitter will vastly increase your reach. I would be happy to pay for the option to watch it here." Another said, "I would subscribe for the money I'd pay at the theater to see the movie on Twitter." A comment that caught our attention read, "The world needs to see this film. There is a reason the establishment has fought so hard to keep it from being released for 3 years. I will donate and subscribe if you put it on X, just like many others who won't go near a cinema after Hollywood's decline." Hollywood's decline? Does that ring a bell? Well, it should, because that's the very reason why Mel Gibson has been appointed as a special ambassador for Hollywood by Donald Trump. Is it possible that Gibson is ready to work directly with Musk to solve some of the deepest issues Hollywood is currently facing? Well, only time will tell, but one thing is clear. If Mel Gibson and Elon Musk are joining forces to expose Hollywood, it's going to send shockwaves through the industry. But what do you think? Will they succeed in revealing the truth? Or will Hollywood fight back harder than ever? Tell us in the comment section below. Don't forget to click on the next video on your screen, like this video, and subscribe to our channel for more updates.